Welcome to the College Equestrian Centre at Keysoe. It's a glorious sunny day here in Bedfordshire. We're here today to bring you highlights of the main event, which is the Big Tour Grand Prix. Now, it's the first two-star international event ever held here at Keysoe, so there's a real air of excitement and some big name riders, including the likes of Tim Stockdale, Daniel Mosley, William Whittaker, and with £21,000 up for grabs, we think it's going to be a great competition. I'm here with Simon Bates, the owner of College Equestrian Centre. Simon, hello.
Good morning.
Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of the two-star accreditation to your centre?
I mean, for us to be able to run an international show here just raises the profile of the centre, and as I think we can run up to this level, it's good to be able to run a show at this level for us.
What does it mean for the young riders and the young horses to be able to compete on an international arena?
Well, it's good for us to be able to give the opportunity so that the riders and the horses can come to an international show and come easily to one. If they're travelling over to Europe, there's another expense involved in it. But here we can take as many British riders as want to come to the show, so there's the opportunity there. They're not limited by the numbers. And it's a kinder environment, I think, on home soil to be able to come and do a first international and go through all of the extra procedures and complications that are involved with that show. This shows a great grounding for the young horses and riders to bring them onto the international platform and to get them to shows of this calibre.
How important are shows like this with the two-star international?
Yeah, they're very important. And it's even better you don't have to go abroad to do it. And it's been a very nice show here.
Simon's done a brilliant job. He's entertained everybody. He's put a real effort into it, and everybody's really appreciated it.
Tim, you just walked the course. What are your thoughts?
I think Calvin Barwater's done a good job. He's got 46 starters. He's supposed to be 145. It feels bigger than that, but it's very sophisticated. It's very technical. Distances a little bit moving, a little bit waiting. So it's going to test the horse and rider combination's ability to be able to shorten and lengthen, which is the sort of thing we need. I think it's a very, very good course.
Plenty of challenges around this track, as Tim says, set by Kelvin Bywater. And the great things, the sun's been shining here in Great Britain, so we've had a great week here at Keysoe, and rounding off with this Grand Prix. William Whittaker with the upper class, the second, one of the early combinations to go in round one. As you can see very obviously as well, featuring some of the fences on the course that were part of the London Games last year. And again, that's another wonderful addition to these shows, those featuring at many of the big shows around the country. Of course, reminding Great Britain of the gold success of 2012. But Williams having a very good year indeed as well. Wins in Italy this season. Also due to be a part of the squad headed for Hickstead. And again is starting to feature as part of Nations Cups, was part of the Nations Cup team in Rotterdam. Getting a very good string of horses now. Went out on his own. Been working very, very hard now. Several of the horses also from Norwegian ownership, some of the tie-ups there too. But really starting to build a string that will give him some firepower for the seasons to come. And again, this is where this type of show's so very good. Chance to get those horses some miles on the clock. The younger horses to start up building that international experience. As we can see, going well so far. Kelvin using plenty of tools in the armoury. In distances like this, you'll see little variations, as Tim mentioned, depending on how your horse goes. Long striding, short striding. You've got to know your horse to how you're going to take on some of these distances. But it's a good one for William Whittaker, upper class the second, 85.91, inside the time of 86. Only just, but times it to perfection, as many watch on in the sunshine, as we can see. Blazing sunshine for this Grand Prix. Dave Quigley, Erasmus van der Heffing, rides internationally for Ireland, but based up in Cheshire and has been for a very long time now. Dave, in fact, has been out for a little while with shoulder injury, still suffering with that a bit. Well, quite a lot actually. You may just see him just favouring the one side. But again, he's doing his best. Tough as old boots. Again, he's produced some very good horses in recent years. U-Lot went on to some very top shows. Went on to compete in the likes of Calgary at Spruce Meadows. Again, already producing that next generation alongside wife Sharon. Ooh, just gives those a tap, but they stay. Ride the luck a little bit sometimes. And again, as I say, he's not having the easiest of times physically keeping hold himself. You see that left shoulder. He's doing a great job. Just shows the talent of this man. Looking good. Could be 2 early clears in this Grand Prix. Yes, it is. Yes, gets round. It is a clear there for Dave Quigley and Erasmus van der Heffing. More comfortably inside the time than William, 83.36, and puts a second name on the list. Nina Barber then with Lord Louis. Let's hear about this horse from her.
My horse is one of the stallions we stand at the stud that I run with my business partner Oliver Townend. He's called Lord Louis. I had him competing with Jeff Billington last year, who did a great job with him, but I've taken him back myself and I'm giving it a go and really enjoying it.
Well, has been giving it a very good go in the last few months with this horse, from competing in Spain to then successful number of placings at her own show up at Bolesworth Castle in Cheshire. But some very, very good stallions up at her base at the Hart Hill Stud. As you say, alongside eventer Oliver Townend. Nina, who also had a background in eventing, now favouring the show jumping side. She having a couple down today. But again, it's also about enjoying the sport as well. And again, a partnership developing all the time, building a rider's confidence as well as the horse's confidence too. Taking on those bigger tracks. It's been one of the bigger tracks that she's taken on so far. But again, we'll take something away from today to build on. Jeff Billington won a couple of very good classes with this horse last season. Just coming into the latter stages of the track again, you'll see them thinking about the time, keeping close to some of those turns, not wasting any time at all. Again, from an international perspective, especially with international Grand Prix, the time a big, big factor, as it's becoming more and more nationally as well, to keep in line with that. So over the last, and it's a final score of 16, does just pick up the one time as well, 87.97. But again, we'll build much more for the future. Nina Barber and Lord Louis.
Dominic, can you tell me a bit about who you're riding here today?
Yeah, I'm riding a new ride of mine. It's a stallion by Chin Chin. He's called Win Win. I've not had him for that long. I had him at the start of the year. He's a very, very nice horse. He's going to be taking over my top spot, my horses. I've jumped him in the Met Tour Grand Prix just for 2 down, but he's been really, really good to me, and I'm hoping to find a lot more about him and hoping to jump a lot more bigger tracks with him.
Fantastic. And how's the arena riding here today?
The arena's very good. It's doing really well. The course builder's doing really well, and the ground's holding up really nicely. They're doing a real good job of it, powering it and watering it every night. It's doing a really good job.
And how important is it for you to compete at a 2-star event like this?
It's very, very important. You need to always need to keep the horses going. All the horses need to be getting out and jumping all the time. So it's very important all the time to be coming to these competitions.
And Anthony, can you tell us, you've got 2 horses here. Can you tell us a little about them?
Yeah, I've got 2 young horses. They're both 8-year-olds. One is quite a new ride for me. Just started riding for Henry Harding. She's 8. She's not done a whole lot. This will be her first sort of Grand Prix at this level. So, but I'm hopeful for her. I think she's got a lot of ability. And the other horse, he's 8 as well. He's done a little bit more, but still quite green. But it's basically a learning curve for these 2 horses.
So both young horses, and how important is a class like this in their education?
Exactly, that's exactly why I brought them actually, because they need to get in at this level and start to learn now, and I think down the line they can jump bigger classes, so this is a great show for them to learn at.
Joe Clayton, Aya Toro. Joe's been in the winner's circle a number of times this season already.
My aim is definitely to win it, go in every class to win, but give him a nice trip round and hopefully he can learn a little bit as well, with the really good jumps here at Keysoe. It's going to be a fantastic experience for him, but always definitely in the back of my mind is to win. That's for sure.
Yes, Joe's certainly got that will to win, and again it's been honed up at Michael's stables. Aya Toro, this one now starting to come up a gear. Michael, who's been jumping several that Joe's produced now, Michael jumping up at the 5-star level, the likes of Dubali and so forth. Joe produced a very good horse at Severe right the way through the Horse of the Year show qualifiers. That one's gone, first part. And then just weaving and bobbing down there. Joe just making sure the horse keeps its concentration. First part of that double, the water tray in there. Just got to make sure the horses don't stare at that, lose their concentration as they go in on the first part. Lots of different interesting tests around this course. As Joe said, and we mentioned earlier, featuring some of those fences from London again, which is a great boost for this show. Good fences, good surface, good show all around. Great atmosphere. So it looks like the one down coming to the last. And pops the last without too much trouble. Crosses the line and will pick up with the time, which is 82.29, so well inside that time allowed, but finishes on the 4 faults. Just the first part of that combination. Just the 2 clears so far. Join us for more after the break. Welcome back to Keysoe for this international show, and well, 2 clears so far, certainly proving a good test for the very big prize money here, but a relaxing day for some out in the sunshine as we enjoy top sport, hotting up all the time. Stephen Whittaker and Royal Rose II.
Royal Rose, 15-year-old Calvados stallion, great little winner, feisty little fella, makes his presence known, quick and careful, doesn't always like water trays though.
Feisty little fella, a bit like Stephen actually. He's had some very good results this year. In fact, has been riding more and more and really going up and following, of course, as he has done always in the family tradition. Brother of John and Michael, but wins this season in Austria, then went on to be very successful in France. Several new horses as well that he's had here. Royal Rose has been one that's been with the Whittaker family for some time, has also been ridden by Ellen, of course, Stephen's daughter. But a very good contender indeed. And if this combination gets through to the jump off, we'll be very quick. They've won a number of very good speed classes as well before now, including at Hickstead. Again, Stephen mentioned feisty horse, just about keeping them settled all the time as well. Just making sure the horses themselves don't get too excited and lose concentration. Oh, looking good. Oh, just the last. So very close, just that last fence. 4 faults, 80.88 for Stephen Whittaker and Royal Rose. We can see them just coming down to that one. Still just the 4 faults. Should put them in for some prize money so far. And here's the man on the way up, young Graham Gillespie and his rise.
He's called Veltier. He's a 10-year-old bay gelding that I've got the ride on a couple of months ago. We took him out to Arezzo. It was one of our first shows and had a few very good wins in some 140 classes. We just seemed to gel straight away. He's a lovely horse, very fast against the clock, and he loves his job, so it's great.
Well, Graham, who hails from the Gillespie family up in Scotland, who have a great tradition in show jumping. He himself, who went so well, won medals in the children on horses ranks, and I think went and stood in fertiliser after that and shot up, and is now making a very good name for himself in the senior and the young rider ranks. He's been training with some of the very best, again being linked with the Whittakers, but family, as I say, with a strong link, and certainly plenty of that coming through in the breeding of not just the horses but the riders as well. Keeping moving on around this track. You can see 1 or 2 will start to move up a pace as well if they have a fence down, because again they're thinking about the prize money down the line. If they it's gone. If they haven't got the clear, they've still got a chance of picking up some good money. Well over 5,000 going to the winner here, and it is just that one down. 4 faults for Graham Gillespie, and his rider Veldia, 79.72, so pretty quick one. Will leave them certainly at the moment with a good share of some cash again. Maybe a little way off that one, and just has that one down. Now to Lance Whitehouse and Rhodos, owned by the Robertson family from Leicestershire. Lance, who picked up the ride. Claire Robertson was out for a little while, picked up the ride to keep the horse going, but actually the two gelled so well that they've stayed together. Lance, well, he's had a terrific career already, mid-20s now, but was stable jockey for Nick Skelton for some time. Certainly honed his skills there. Has won many Grand Prix in the pony ranks. Of course, had a very good pony Gold Harvest. Then went on to be a big part of young riders too. But certainly would like to notch up an international win here if he could. Very good chance today. Father Peter, former jockey. Very much supportive, family supportive of him right the way through. So he's built up a good relationship with this horse now, been together for a good few months. Only the two clears at this stage, so the clears are few and far between. If you can add one in, he's certainly in for a big share of money, whatever happens. Down to the last, oh, he says, but gets over it okay. It is clear for Lance Whitehouse. And Rhodos so puts himself in with a very good chance of a victory, 85.22. Another one going close to the time of 86. Gets inside there by just over half a second and assures his spot in round 2. Well, how about the rest of them? How did they fare? Anthony Condon, good year so far, but I'm afraid picked up the 9 today with Ashdale Luxara. Tim Page and Steady the Helm picked up the 12. I'm afraid problems in the combination, but a good time, 78.96. And the Whitakers well in action here at this international show. Louise with Santos II. Unfortunately, the 8 faults, 82.60. So we finish with just the 3 going forward to the jump off. William Whitaker, Dave Quigley and Lance Whitehouse. Charlotte caught up with William.
William, one of 3 clears in the first round, well done. Why do you think there were so few clears?
I think it was a very good course actually, because it wasn't massive, but there was a lot of technical lines everywhere, and a lot of faults. The faults were spread around the course. I thought there would be more clears, but to be honest, I'm not complaining.
And when you walked the course, were there any particular fences you were concerned about?
And the last line, I think, has caught quite a few people out, but to be honest, it was quite a tricky track all the way around.
Well, Kelvin Bywater using his technical ability to its very best just shows doesn't have to be built huge. It's just got to test them out. William Whitaker, upper class the second, will lead them off. Remember, we had 2 early clears with William and Dave Quigley. Tight turn in there. The plank there could very easily drop. Now we're down to what was the combination. Final part of this now taken away. Kelvin leaving a few options around the track, just takes that first part of what was the double slightly on the angle, shaving those valuable seconds down over the Olympic fence. And they're coming back to this spread. As the 4, and then down to what was the last fence, with the lead up to it earlier on taken away. 52.84, finishing on the 4 faults there. 1 fence down for William Whitaker and upper class the second, but certainly going to be in the top 3, so guaranteed some very good prize money indeed. Just barely touches it as they come round there, but it is for Erasmus van der Heffing and Dave Quigley. Set off in style, so a clear would put them ahead, but knowing they've got 1 more to come after that. Just got to play the game strategy a little bit. Now. Looking pretty level on the clock so far. Cuts inside there. Again, like William, taking the water tray. Touch on the angle, keeping up the pace all the time. Now, will he give himself a bit more room to come to this spread before the last? Possibly touch wider. Down to the last then, clear so far. Going for that clear to put it in the bag and does it. Well done, 61.77. It's clear there for Dave Quigley. So takes over top spot. Slower on the clock than William Whittaker, but plays the strategy right so far, so it'll come down to the last to go. Dave Quigley puts the clear in, so certainly at worst finishes second. Lance Whitehouse and Rhodos, interestingly, never won a senior international Grand Prix, so this would be a good fillip for him. And looks serious from the off. Horse that's got a good bit more experience than some in the field. And therefore can trust and ask a few more questions. Certainly quicker than Dave Quigley so far. Got to leave the fences up though. Williams' time was pretty quick. Can become so fine. Inside there. Looks as though he's got it easily if he leaves the last up. 61.77 to beat. And does it with ease, 58.17. So it's a win for Lance Whitehouse and Rhodos. That'll be a very good one to notch up for him. And again, gives them a great boost of confidence. Right to put his hand in the air and acknowledge the crowd here. They're having a lovely afternoon and some great sport. Well done to Lance Whitehouse and the Robertsons Rhodos. That'll really boost the confidence. There's the full lineup. 2 double clears. Dave Quigley finishing in second. And Charlotte's with the winner.
Lance, a great win, well done. Can you talk us through the jump off?
Yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking because I knew I could get the time, and I basically had to try and get a clear. There were some big fences in there, and the horse just jumped fantastic, so I was really pleased with him. And the other horse of ours won the first day, so we've had a brilliant show in the big international classes. So, I mean, I think it's a fantastic show here, and the jumps are unbelievable, and they've done a really good job. So we'll be coming back next year, and hopefully we might have a bit of luck then as well. So really pleased.
Hot competition indeed, and Simon Bates presenting to a worthy winner. First International Grand Prix for Lance Whitehouse.
Well, that wraps it up for Keysoe's first ever 2-star international competition. And it's been a great afternoon of show jumping here in the scorching sun. There were nearly 50 starters, but just 3 made it through to the jump off. And then 2 double clears came from David Quigley and Lance Whitehouse. Lance just pipped David to the post on time to win the class, so well done to him. We've had a great time. We hope you have too, and we'll see you next time.